Hello, Jerry and I would like to say happy July 4th to our southern neighbors. Hopefully, in spite of all of the crazy, you're going to have a good day. You're going to have a good weekend. Hopefully, you can at least do some little celebratory things. Um, thank you also very much for all of the lovely warm wishes for Canada Day. Very much appreciated. Thank you. And I just wanted to let you know that here where I am on Canada Day, it rained until well into the afternoon. And of course, fireworks and parades and all of that kind of stuff was canceled. Now I'm going to put Jerry down and I'm going to get on with this because what I'm doing is I'm going to do a pendulum reading today because there's just a bunch of questions that need to be answered. But I am warning you that it's also raining a little bit now. And so I'm warning you that if you hear him meowing and yowling and carrying on, it's because he really wants to go outside and he can't. You have to wait till the rain stops, buddy. Okay? Say goodbye to everyone. For those of you who don't know, Jerry is our three-legged, part Maine Coon rock star. That's who he is. And for those of you asking, we're going to do a pet parade later on this month. Okay. All right. So some interesting stuff, and I don't have the details in front of me, so I apologize for that. But I believe it was on Morning Joe this morning. They were talking about some new latest polls. And all of the numbers were not surprising, frankly. You know, there's like something like 70% or 75% of Americans who think the country's going in absolutely the wrong direction. Huge percentage of people are absolutely disappointed in Trump and what he does and et cetera. But the one that I found fascinating was that Republicans, sorry, Jerry, only 19% of them approve of Trump's behavior, approve of the way Trump is handling the situations that he's been dealt with this summer. So that was really interesting. I mean, talk about losing support. You know, now does that mean all of them are not going to vote for him? Well, probably, I'm sure there's more than just them that are gonna, but it was fascinating to me that that number is so low. And of course, that's what you've got to expect when you're giving people faulty information, you're doing things that are putting American lives at risk, and unbelievably, whether that is your military off around the world, or it is the citizens that are here now in the United States. So, it's sad that that's where we're at, but that's where we're at. And so I thought this would just be a good day to sort of ask kind of 50 or so questions and get some answers. Now, I will tell you, I have done I've asked all of these questions with my pendulum, and so should I get an answer that is different than the one I got earlier, I will let you know and probably rephrase the question, see if we can figure out a consistent answer. For those of you who are new to Soulprint, welcome. Thank you so much for being here at Soulprint. We're so glad that you have joined us. So this is my pendulum, okay? You may see my hands move slightly with the momentum of the pendulum. If I had a longer one, it wouldn't be quite so noticeable, except for the fact that for this format, it's simply easier to use a short pendulum. This is citrine set in rose gold. It is absolutely lovely. Now, so for this particular pendulum, it has been programmed. Please show me yes. So it has a very distinctive back and forth. Please show me no. And that's a very clear round and round and round. And pendulum, when you are ready to answer these questions, and we can receive those answers protected and from the highest possible source of accuracy. Please go back and forth. Okay, so I guess we're good to go. All right. Let's start with Trump and Russia, because really all roads lead there. Good Lord. Did Trump know about the bounty being paid by Russia? Yep, he sure did. Did he know before 2020? Yes, he did. Did he know before 2019? Okay, so that's looking a little bit like a no. I know that there are news reports that say otherwise, but that's the answer we've got for now. So we'll, come back another day and ask it again. So the bigger question in my mind anyways is like, was Trump like totally okay about this? Did he did he care? No, he didn't care. And was he totally okay with this? And there you go. Yes. For those of you wondering, I have a really strong connection to this pendulum, and so the answers tend to come quickly and frankly quite accurately. Okay. Is Putin holding something over Trump's head? Okay. And is Putin offering Trump something, sort of like dangling a carrot? Indeed, he is. Does Putin think that Trump is savvy, or does he think him a fool? Okay. Will Trump and the administration, frankly, be held accountable for this unbelievable dereliction of duty? I mean, I'm sorry, I think it's treasonous, but I'm not American. Are they going to be held accountable some way, shape, or form? They are. Okay. Are there going to be like investigations or hearings that look into this whole situation? Yeah. So this is the thing, energetically, just so that you know, it feels as if the next 4 months or so are going to be really, really difficult for Trump. And the Democrats are going to systematically, slowly, just continue to push forward everything that needs to be revealed or exposed that they can. And of course, the Lincoln Project is right there behind them or in front of them, actually kind of clearing the way and saying all the stuff that they don't really want to say because they don't want to get into that, how low can you go kind of conversation. So it's awesome that the Democrats sort of seem to be able to stay above the fray, and the Lincoln Project is the one that's really sort of pushing. And it's not negative advertising; it's clarity, right? These are the facts. This is what's going on. Okay. Is it possible that this may go so far that there will be a second impeachment of Trump? Okay, so no. And that kind of makes sense, right? Just from a political standpoint, you don't want to give the Republicans ammunition to say, you just hate him and that's all there is to it, and you guys won't stop at anything, and you're wasting taxpayer dollars and yak, yak, yak. So interesting. However, is what is going on specifically with the military and Putin and Russia, with that situation specifically, is that actually going to significantly impact Trump's numbers? It is. Okay, and this question almost doesn't need to be asked, but we'll ask it. And is that a negative impact? Yeah, it is. Okay. One more time. Is Trump going to win the election in November 2020? No. No, he's not. SCOTUS. Is SCOTUS going to rule against Trump in terms of the ruling regarding the release of his tax information? Okay, it's a small yes. So then this is the question. There's sort of two cases in front of SCOTUS right now pertaining, or two different parties that are pursuing this. Is sort of one party likely to get kind of more than the other, or more leeway than the other? Yeah. Okay. So, and I think I've said this before, that it felt like it kind of, nobody would get everything they want, but there was still stuff that was going to come out that was really annoying and upsetting to Trump. Are his poll numbers going to continue to tank? Like, is this a downward slide that he's not going to be able to recover from? Yeah, it really is a downward slide. You know, he sort of retreated to this world, this other place that isn't really reality. And so even though it feels as if he knows that things are not going well for him, he just thinks like he can pull it out of the hat. He just thinks that he can just magically make this happen. And the reason he believes that is because that's exactly what he did in 2016, right? Everybody counted him out, and somehow he managed to pull off that win, for lack of a better word. So he simply thinks that this is something he can do again. And so it almost feels like it doesn't matter how bad he gets, he's sort of, pretty confident that he can con people again and again and again. Okay, is Trump likely to leave office before the November elections? No. Is Trump likely to leave office between November and January? And that's a yes. And honestly, let us all hope and pray that that happens, because I have long said that the most dangerous time for the world is the time between when Trump loses the election and when the next inauguration is, that period of time from November, December, and into January. Because he's going to be the most vindictive, the most angry, the most resentful, the most. So if something happens that kind of encourages him to get out before the inauguration, that would be a really good thing, frankly. Is he going to leave the White House without trouble? Okay, so that looks like a no. So I guess there could potentially be something that goes on there. I guess we'll have to keep our eyes open and see. So June is going to go down as the absolutely worst month for the Trump presidency, because it was just one bad news story after another bad news story. So is July going to be better than June was for Trump? All right, well, that's a big no. Okay, so is it going to be significantly worse than June was? Oh, and apparently, yeah. So it looks like there could be a bit of a bumpy ride ahead for sure, for sure. Okay. Is Biden going to win the 2020 presidential election? Yes. Is Biden going to win by a landslide? No. Is there going to be a blue wave? Yes. Okay, so I don't know what the difference is between a landslide and a blue wave, but definitely the pendulum is letting us know that this is not in the bag and there's work that needs to be done in order to keep this trajectory going. Is Biden going to choose a Black female as vice president? And that's a big, strong yes. I'm going to ask kind of the top 3 names, okay? Is it likely to be Stacey Abrams? Okay. Is it likely to be Val Deming or Deming? No. Is it likely to be Camilla Harris or Kamala Harris, however you prefer? Yes. Okay, so as of right now, it looks like that prediction I made a whole bunch of months ago in February of 2019 may very well come true, which was a Biden-Harris ticket. Is McConnell going to win his re-election bid? Well, that looks like a big no. Is Lindsey Graham going to win his re-election bid? And that's a big no. How about Susan Collins? Is she going to win? No. And how about that Cory Gardner guy? What's his story? Is he going to win his re-election? Yeah, no. Okay. Hold on here, because I think I had a couple more questions about the election here. Yeah. Even though they're not going to be able to do vote by mail everywhere, is there going to be significantly increased amounts of votes taking place in the United States by mail? Okay. And are the Republicans going to hold on to the Senate majority? Yeah, doesn't look like it. So does that mean by extension then that the Democrats are going to have the majority in the House, the Senate, and of course the White House? Is that what we're looking at for 2021? Yes. Okay, so that's like really good news. All right, let's go back to my other questions here. Let's talk about the coronavirus. There isn't a lot to say. The news is so depressing. For all of my viewers, particularly in the southern part of the states, whether it's California or Texas or Florida, the Carolinas, please, please take good care of yourself. Stay as safe as you possibly can, because it's going to get worse before it gets better. And the numbers are escalating so rapidly. And because, if you're my viewer, you're smart enough to know that this was serious and you should be social distancing and you should be washing your hands and you should be wearing face masks. Unfortunately, it feels as if a lot of your neighbors didn't quite get the memo. So please just really, really be careful. So the first question is, in the foreseeable future, is the coronavirus going to continue to escalate. Yeah. And so has the coronavirus hit peak for most places in the United States? Has it peaked yet? No. Well, and that makes sense, right? I mean, if you're increasing your number of cases by 40,000 plus a day, that certainly doesn't sound like a decrease. Are the numbers that we hear, are they accurate? Like in terms of positive tests and deaths, and are they even anywhere near accurate? No. Okay, now is some of that being actually done like willfully? Yeah, it is. So you can probably guess what states are kind of reluctant maybe to, put out the right numbers because they already look bad enough as it is. And if the numbers are double what they're saying, that's terrifying. And I don't know that they are double. I'm just saying they're obviously much higher than the numbers that we are given. So there was a lot of talk about the COVID sort of dying down and settling down in the summer months. Generally speaking, globally, is that likely something that we're going to see? Okay. Is the United States going to end up having even a small lull between the first and second wave? Is there going to be a bit of a lull for the United States over the course of this summer? So yes, so that's like really, really good news. And are we continuing? There is going to be a second wave globally. Okay. And can the people of the United States anticipate being welcomed back into the EU anytime this summer? And that's a no. Okay, so travel is still going to be restricted because, I'm sorry, but globally, internationally, your country is in the worst shape. It's had the worst response, and it's spiraling out of control. And there don't seem to be a whole lot of stuff going on to kind of corral it and bring it back to heel. Okay. Let's just shift topics here. So Roger Stone wanted to try to get his jail thing moved to, I think, September, the end of September. And I think it got moved to sometimes in July. And I want to say like sort of the middle of July. I don't even think he got the whole month. Is Stone going to do jail time? Is he actually going to end up in jail? Okay. Ultimately, is Flynn going to end up in jail? Yeah. If something happens to derail that between now and when Trump leaves office, will there be additional investigations? We'll start first with Stone that could potentially just get him into more trouble without a helpmate in the White House. Yep. Okay. And Flynn. Additional investigations or charges against Flynn. So yes. Is Barr likely to get disbarred given his behavior? Is there a disbarment in William Barr's future? Looks like a pretty big one too. Okay. Is Giuliani continuing to be under investigation with the Southern District of New York? Yes. I kind of want to ask, is that kind of being kept quiet and a little bit under wraps so that people who, maybe you'll get really wound up, maybe won't hear about it, it won't be in their face so much. Yeah, they're kind of keeping it a little bit quiet. Is the Southern District of New York going to literally be able to regain, with a new president, new administration, certainly a new attorney general? And I got to tell you, I still really feel strongly about Nancy Yates for that position. Is it Nancy Yates or Sally Yates? I never get it right, but you know who I'm talking about, and I'll have to look it up and get her name straight. Ms. Yates, the former acting attorney general. Her. I still have a really, really strong, good feeling about her, and maybe by then I'll have remembered her first name with any clarity. Okay, is the Southern District of New York either going to sort of resurrect or start new investigations, probably in the new year, against Donald Trump? Yes. Against Ivanka and Jared. They're in big trouble, those guys. Ooh. Eric. Yep, but see how much slower the pendulum's going, so it looks like it's not going to be quite as big. And Don Jr. Oh yeah, he's another one who's in for a world of hurt. Is Melania going to divorce Trump? Is that going to happen after 2021? Yeah, so she'll wait. Sorry, I apologize. Is that going to happen after 2020? Is it going to happen during the year of 2021? Yeah, during the year of 2021. Okay. Mary Trump's book. So yesterday or a couple days ago, the courts ruled that they did a temporary sort of injunction to stop stuff. But ultimately, is Mary's book going to get published? Yeah. And is that going to sort of add more fuel to the fire in terms of Donald Trump's reputation? Is that just going to make the situation even worse for him? Yeah. Okay. Is Bolton going to receive the kind of revenue and even attention or adulation, perhaps, that he anticipated when he was writing the book? Is he going to kind of reach that goal? Yeah, not, you know what, not by a landslide. He's not. He's just not. And you know, there's you can download the book for free. I know there was a couple comments with the links in some of my comments. So, you know, it's interesting because this is the thing. Like, so is by and large, is Bolton's book like accurate? Yeah. So this is the thing, right? You don't want to pay him for his book, but certainly it might well be worth a read so that people have even more clarity of what kind of goes on behind the scenes. Is Pence likely to end up under investigation? Okay, that's a no. Okay. That doesn't mean it can't change. It just means right now, maybe it's because all the law enforcement agencies have their hands full just trying to deal with the Trumps. Stimulus check. Is there going to be another stimulus check coming out? Is it going to get blocked? So that was a no. Is it going to get blocked by the Senate and Mitch McConnell? And that's a yes. So then might there be another stimulus check or some additional financial help coming out to people sort of maybe after summer, but in the fall? Like, is there anything that they can anticipate or hope for or expect in the next few months? Yeah. So it kind of feels almost like as if they're going to have to be shamed into doing the right thing, which is not a surprise, right? Because Republicans seem to be named, they seem to be you seem to need to shame them in order for them to do anything. And frankly, over the last 3.5 years, Republicans have figured out that, you know what, it's okay. They don't need to be shamed. They don't mind being shamed. They don't mind laying prostrate on the floor for Trump. Police reform, is there going to be any significant police reform that actually takes place between now and the end of the year? Okay, so yes, going to make some strides. And is the significant police reform going to take place in 2020? Yeah. And for all of you who were really anxious to get this happening, you are better off to wait until 2021 for that to take place, because you kind of don't want a half-assed job done, but then it kind of fades from everybody's awareness. So if it takes until the new year with a new president, that's probably a really, really good thing. I know it's a little frustrating, but they did say that some change is going to happen, but the real big permanent stuff, you can look forward to that into 2021. Okay, so this was interesting. So we know that Trump's numbers are going to get really bad. There's going to be more investigations, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 states. And I kind of picked them randomly. I mean, a couple of them, I know that things are kind of going bad there in terms of the coronavirus, in terms of Trump's numbers. So I want to ask, and it's going to be the same question for every state. Is there, how do I want to say this? Is Florida likely to go blue? Yes. And in blue, I'm going to just caveat that by saying even purple blue. Okay. Texas. Is Texas going to go blue? Doesn't look like it. Is Arizona going to go blue? I think that's a surprise. That's a yes. Nevada. Is Nevada going to go blue? That's looking like a no. Colorado. Is Colorado going to go blue? Yes. Utah. Is Utah going to go blue? It is. Maybe the good people of Utah are going to listen to Mitt Romney. Never know. And Oklahoma. Is that going to go blue? No. Okay, so I'm not sure if there were surprises in there or not surprises in there. I will do this again with other states as sort of things move along. Anyways, that was kind of long and involved, and I hope you enjoyed it. Again, thank you ever so much for all of your support, the likes, the new subscribers, my established ones. Thank you so much. Comments, and once again, if you're looking for a reading, in the box below is some information. Until next time, have a fabulous, fabulous July 4th weekend. I wish you all a wonderful holiday, and stay safe. Take care. And be well. Bye-bye.